Well, Jim, it's always good visiting with you, and I'm delighted that you're going to be joining us the end of this month for the program on Alzheimer's. That program to me was shocking. Not the program itself, but the facts that we learned. And we recorded this in honor of our good friend, Phil Wexler, who recently passed away from Alzheimer's disease. I was just very surprised and shocked, seriously, that today there are more than 6 million people living with Alzheimer's. And COVID, because being connected to people helps us overall, but COVID-19 in 2020 contributed to a 17% increase in Alzheimer's and dementia deaths. Just shocking. And unfortunately, there's not a cure yet. But I'm curious, because so many facts came out in that program that people may be somewhat familiar with, but not really. Mm-hmm. What did you learn that we need to pay more attention to?
Well, the thing that struck me at first was the obvious 6 million people are living with Alzheimer's today, and that means 11 million more are caregivers for those 6 million. Mm. And those numbers are just general, round off numbers. So there are a massive number of people suffering from this disease, either personally or directly in having to be a caregiver. I have personal experience with that role, though it was not directly connected to Alzheimer's. And another thing that struck me about this was that Alzheimer's and dementia are not the same. It's like, dogs and collies are not all the same. All collies are dogs, but not all dogs are collies. All dementia is not Alzheimer's, but Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. And there's also the mild cognitive impairment that people experience. And it has symptoms similar to Alzheimer's or dementia, but it's just evidence that there's been some deterioration. And I said, what do we do? How can we prevent it? And they said, sorry, you can't. Oh, well, that's sad. But we can diminish its initial effects and maybe delay the onset in some ways by keeping our mind active, by keeping our relationships strong, constantly interacting with other people, not isolating ourselves and, vegging out in front of the television instead of connecting with friends and family, getting outdoors more often. And one thing they said that stuck with me profoundly was, what's good for the heart is good for the brain.
So while there is no cure yet, there are some things that we can do to be less risk prone.
Yes.
And one of the things that just, again, my mouth was just open, is that in this last year, and the year's not over, Alzheimer's and other dementia has cost our nation $321 billion. And it's predicted that by 2050, that figure is going to go up to trillions. We really need to take a look at what do we need to do to prevent this disease, which affects so many of us. So Jim, thank you for joining us. Sunday, June 26th, 11:30 a.m. on Channel 13. And then it goes on YouTube and McCuistionTV.com. Appreciate you, Jim.